Far away from home, a king was crying out in pain, and there was no one left to save them. Back in Mali, the people were suffering, and the man who made them suffer had finally come. His name was Soumaoro. They said he was not just a king, they said he was a sorcerer, a man of dark magic. The people whispered that no arrow could cut him, no spear could stop him, no sword could kill him. They said that inside his secret room the walls were covered with terrible things, and that ghosts and spirits did whatever he told them to do. People said that when Soumaoro was angry, the sky itself would grow dark. They said he could appear in many places at once. They said he had powers that no normal man should ever have. And because of this, every other king in the land was too afraid to even look him in the eye. When they heard his name, brave men would shake. When they saw his army on the hills, whole villages would run. And one by one, Soumaoro was taking the whole land. He marched his army into village after village. He burned the homes, he took the food, he chained the people, and anyone who tried to fight him was crushed. The land that was once full of music and laughter went silent. The drums stopped, the children stopped playing. Fear sat on top of everything like a heavy black cloud that would not go away. And then Soumaoro turned his cold eyes toward Mali. Now, remember, Mali was being ruled by Sasuma's son, the same Sasuma who had stolen the throne, the same woman who had chased little Sundiata away. But her son was weak. He was not a real leader. And when the great and terrible Soumaoro came marching toward Mali, the young king did not stand and fight like a brave man. No. He was so afraid that he ran away. He left his own people behind, and he disappeared. And so Mali fell. The sorcerer king walked into Mali like he owned it. He put his people in charge. He took whatever he wanted. And the people of Mali, the proud, free people of Mali, became slaves in their own land. They cried. They suffered. They had no king to protect them. But in the dark, in their pain, the old people began to remember something. They remembered a story about a boy who could not walk, a boy who stood up when no one believed in him, a boy who lifted iron and carried trees, a boy they once called the Lion. Sundiata, they whispered. We must find Sundiata. He is the only one who can save us now. So the elders of Mali made a choice. They gathered their wisest, bravest messengers, and they sent them out into the world. Go, they said, search every land, search every village. Do not stop until you find the lost prince and bring him home. And so the search began. The messengers walked for months. They crossed wide rivers. They climbed dry hills. They walked under the hot sun and slept under the cold stars. They went from kingdom to kingdom, asking the same question everywhere they went. Have you seen a young man named Sundiata, the son of the buffalo woman? Have you seen the Lion of Mali? But no one knew where he was. Now, while all of this was happening, where was Sundiata? Far, far away, in a kingdom called Mima, the lost boy had grown into a strong young man. The king of that faraway land had taken him in. He had given him food, he had given him a home, and he had taught Sundiata the ways of war. And Sundiata had become great. He was tall now, he was powerful, he was a fearless warrior, and the soldiers of Mima loved him and followed him into battle. The king of Mima trusted him so much that he wanted to make Sundiata his right-hand man, the second most powerful person in the whole kingdom. Sundiata had everything a man could want: safety, honor, respect. But his heart was not at peace, because deep inside he never forgot. He never forgot Molly, he never forgot his home, and he never forgot the promise he made to bring his mother back one day and make her a queen again. But then something happened that broke his heart into pieces. His mother, Sogolon, grew old and she grew sick. The long, hard years of running and hiding had finally caught up to her tired body. The strong buffalo woman who had carried her son through every storm, who had fought the whole world to keep him alive, was now lying weak on her bed. Sundiata sat beside her, he held her hand, and his mother looked up at him, at the strong, mighty man her crippled little boy had become, and she smiled. She had lived to see it. She had lived to see her son stand tall. "My son," she said softly, with the last of her strength, "do not cry for me. I have seen you stand. I have seen you walk. I have seen the lion that lived inside you all along. Now go and become the king you were born to be." And then, quietly, she closed her eyes, and she was gone. Sundiata wept. The mighty warrior, the lion, cried like a small boy again, because the woman who believed in him before anyone else did, the woman who never gave up on him, was no longer there to see what he would become. But even in his sadness, even in that dark moment, a fire began to burn inside him. And it was exactly at that time that the messengers from Mali finally found him. After all their searching, after all their long and tired miles, they walked into the kingdom of Mima, and they saw him. They saw the strong young man with the proud face, and they knew. In their hearts they knew. This was him. This was the lion they had been looking for. They fell down before him, and with tears in their eyes they told him everything. They told him about Soumaoro. They told him about the burning villages. They told him about the chains. They told him how their people were crying out, suffering with no one to save them. "Please," they begged, "Mali is dying. Your people are dying. You are the only hope we have left. Come home, Sundiata. Come home and free your people." The young king of Mima did not want to lose him, but he saw the fire in Sundiata's eyes, and he knew that nothing in this world could keep a lion away from his land. And so he did something great. He gave Sundiata soldiers, he gave him horses, he gave him a real army to take back home. And so it began. The crippled boy who could not walk was now a warrior leading an army. The cursed child everyone laughed at was now the only hope of a whole nation. The lost prince was finally going home. But waiting for him at the end of that long road home was the most dangerous enemy in all the world. A king that magic protected, a king that no weapon could kill, a king that had never, ever lost a battle. Soumaoro was waiting, and the greatest war this land had ever seen was about to begin. To be continued in Part 4. Don't go anywhere, because in Part 4, 2 great armies will come face to face, and Sundiata will learn a dark secret, the one secret that can finally bring down the unbeatable sorcerer king.